Hey guys, it's Darwin, and today I'm talking about my big three for the Appalachian Trail, the Great Divide Trail, and the Colorado Trail. All right, so we are finally into 2020, and folks, I have a pretty big and diverse year on the trail. Now, if you haven't been following along with my videos over the last couple months, starting in March, I'll be re-hiking a 700-mile section of the Appalachian Trail to basically celebrate my 5 years of being hiker trash. Hopefully in May, I'll be shooting down to South America to do some hiking in Peru, and then at the end of June, I'll be headed up to Canada to do a southbound through hike of the Great Divide Trail. Basically, as soon as I'm done with that hike, I'll be shooting over to Colorado and doing a southbound through hike of the Colorado Trail. So because I'm gonna be hiking so many diverse trails, I've been really trying to dial my gear down and get everything where I want it, comfortable, light, efficient, simple, so I can use it on all of those different trails. So getting all that dialed down starts with my big three: my pack, my sleep system, and my shelter. First, let's talk about my pack. Now, in the last 2 years, between my through hike of the Pinhoti Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, the Arizona Trail, going over to Scotland for the TGO Challenge, and even a little mini through hike of the Timberline Trail, I've went through 4 different packs. From the Z-Packs Arc Blast, to the Z-Packs Nero, to a Waymark through 40, and even a Waymark through 40 DCF prototype. I've been really trying to figure out what I like about each one, what I don't like, and find a way to build my perfect pack that kind of works for everything that I do. Well, because I liked my Waymark through 40 so much, about 4 months ago, I reached out to Waymark and asked if they wanted to help me design and basically build my perfect pack, kind of collaborate and figure out something new. So the pack that I'll be carrying this year in 2020 for the AT, for the CT, the GDT, and also taking it down to South America is the Waymark Evolve. Now, this is a pack that I've been prototyping for the past 4 months, and if you've been following me over on Instagram, you've probably seen pictures of it. Now, a lot of people think that it was my through 40 because I kind of went with the same colors, but it is a totally different pack. The Evolve is a 35-liter, 1-inch removable hip belt pack that is basically just like the 40, but not only is it smaller, but it has a completely different design. One thing that I've had a problem with certain packs in the past is just how they ride on my shoulders, how it rides on my back, the actual ergonomics of the pack. So when we went to do this pack, really sit down and looked at how a pack can ride on you and how you can take something like a hip beltless pack and just make it more comfortable under a heavier load. And I think we've gotten pretty close with this. It's made out of a VX07 X-Pack material. It has really comfy, thick shoulder straps. Even though it is only a 35-liter pack, it does have load shifters, and it has that Lycra front pocket that I liked so much with my through 40. So I'm not gonna go too into the specifics and the ergonomics of the pack. I'll save that for a future review, but I can tell you that mine weighs in at 15 ounces, and that's with the removable 1-inch hip belt, and they will be available very soon. I'm pretty excited for Mark to put these out, and for me, this has been the most comfortable pack I've ever used, and I'm really jacked to put a ton of miles on it this year. All right, so next up is my sleep system. If you have looked at any of my gear list over the past 2 years, it's basically the exact same system. First off is my pad of choice, and the one that I've been using, well, basically my entire hiking career, and that is the Thermarest Neo Air X-Lite Large. This one in particular I picked up in 2018 on the PCT about 300 miles in. It went the rest of the PCT. It went on a bike tour of the Blue Ridge Parkway, a through hike of the Arizona Trail, all the way across Scotland, and a bunch of trips in between. This is my favorite pad. It's the one that I always choose over any other pad that I've tried, and it's the pad that I'll be using for all of 2020. The next part of my sleep system is something that I think is vital for good sleep on the trail, and that is my trusty old Sea to Summit Aeros Ultralight pillow. Now, this one in particular is the exact same pillow that I've had since 2016 when I went back out to the AT, and it's still holding in there. I've used some other pillows in the past. I've suggested some to you, some budget options, but for my money, for the long run, this thing rocks. It's been, ever since 2016, it's been on every trip with me, and it still holds in there. It still kills it. It weighs just over 2 ounces, and it's gonna be a part of my sleep system for 2020. And then the last, but certainly not least part of my sleep system for 2020 is going to be my Enlightened Equipment Enigma 20. Now, this is the quilt that I bought right before I started the PCT in 2018. It now has over 4,000 miles on it. I recently washed it. It's fluffed back up to a 20-degree quilt. And yeah, I've talked about this a lot, so I'm not gonna give it too much more praise, but out of all the quilts, out of all the sleeping bags that I've used, this has become my favorite. It's a 950 fill version that is long and wide with 10D on the outside and 7D on the inside. It's my favorite quilt. So I'm definitely going to be using it in 2020 for my sleep system. Now, if I get into some colder hiking later on in the year, I might swap it out for something a little warmer. I do now have a 10-degree quilt, but the 20 should do me just fine for the AT, the GDT, and the CT. Oh, and Peru. All right, so let's talk about the final piece of my big three, my shelter. Now, in 2019, I tried 3 new shelters, from the Z-Packs Plexamid that I used on the AZT, to the Z-Packs Hexamid Pocket Tarp that I picked up for some lighter camping and bike packing, to the Tarp Tent Aeon Li. I have used quite a bit of shelters over the past year, trying to compare them all to my Z-Packs Duplex. So what shelter am I using for 2020 for all of my hikes? I'm still not sure. I'm like close to 60 days from starting the AT, and I still have no clue which shelter I'm gonna use. Right now, I'm actually having quite a bit of a problem trying to figure out what's gonna work best for me. And really, none of those shelters fit the bill of what I'm really looking for. For me, right now, the perfect shelter would use 1 trekking pole. It would have a net and a bathtub. It would be long enough for me being 6'1", and super simple to set up. So, the Duplex, it uses 2 poles. The Plexamid, it's not long enough for me. I have a hard time with keeping my footbox dry whenever there's a lot of rain and condensation. The Hexamid Pocket Tarp is awesome. It's light, it's simple, it uses 1 pole, but it's not fully enclosed and it has no bug net, so using it on the GDT and the CT is gonna be a pain because I hear those are pretty buggy. And then the Tarp Tent Aeon Li is an amazing tent and I really like it, but I cannot stand that it doesn't pack down any smaller than that. And honestly, in my new pack, it doesn't really fit with all of my other gear. So I still have no clue what shelter I want to use. I have all of these great options, and odds are I'll probably end up having to take one of these and just making it work, but I'm still on the search for the perfect shelter. Now, I have found a couple other options, and I'm even considering doing a custom built shelter just to meet my needs, but I'll let you guys know, and I will be doing a full gear list video like I typically do, and hopefully by then I'll have the shelter that I'm gonna use. So what is your big 3 for 2020? Do you have multiple different shelters that you're in between right now? Leave me something down below and let me know your thoughts. If you found any value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.